people in hell were starving and famished. Sabi niya, bakit nagkakaiba? Kasi napansin niya, yung mga tao sa hell, they were using their oversized spoon and fork to feed themselves. And that is why, hindi sila makakain. Why? Because the food, no, natatapon lang. Kasi ang haba eh. Hindi nila maisubo sa sarili nila. Kaya hindi sila makakain in the process. Pero ano yung pagkakaiba sa heaven? Ang pagkakaiba, pag kumuha sila ng pagkain, ang pinapakain nila yung nasa harapan nila. No? Using their oversized spoon and fork. No? Kaya kahit na oversized yung spoon and fork na yun, people are able to eat. Now, what is the story telling us? There is no difference between heaven and hell. The only difference is heaven is a place where people love one another. And the only difference between heaven and hell is that hell is where people are selfish and think only of themselves. You want to experience heaven? Yes. Love one another. You want to experience hell? Then be selfish. No? Hell is not a place. It is a state where God is not there, and ultimately where love is not there. This is why we even now, men and women, can experience hell. Now, ano yung work experience ng devil? Sabi natin dito, Satan's primary work is to destroy our relationship with the Lord and nullify His lordship over our lives. Now, in Revelations 12:17, it says, Then the dragon became angry with the woman and went off to wage war against the rest of her offspring, those who keep God's commandments and bear witness to Jesus. Another name for the devil is diabolos. It came from the Greek word diabolos. What does diabolos mean? Diabolos means one who divides, one who separates, one who destroys unity. And what does the devil do? It destroys our fourfold unity. Our unity with God, with ourselves, with one another, and with all of creation. That is what we saw in the Bible. When sin first entered the world, what happened? The unity between man and God was destroyed. Bakit? When you read the book of Genesis, man and God were friends. They were able to talk to one another. Pero when sin entered the picture, what happened? Man started to run away from God. Nahihiya na siya sa Panginoon. So much so that God wanted to call him, Where are you? So the unity between man and God was destroyed. And then nung nakita niya yung lalaki, tinanong niya, What happened? Anong ginawa ng lalaki? Sinisi niya ang Diyos. Sabi niya, The woman whom you put here, she tempted me to eat of the fruit of the knowledge of good and evil. And then our unity with one another, with ourselves. When sin was not yet in the picture, Adam and Eve was comfortable in their nakedness. Pero nung nagkasala sila, what happened? They immediately become aware that they were naked. Anong ibig sabihin nun? That is guilt. Diba when you know that you have committed a sin, you feel that there is a battle going on within you. The peace and unity within yourself is destroyed, and therefore even your unity with yourself, you feel torn apart. And then of course, our unity with one another. No? Biglang nagsisihan si Adam and Eve. No? The woman which you put here, she tempted me. And then what did the woman say? The serpent which you put here, he tempted me. Eh yung serpent, wala na siyang maituro. Kawawa naman siya. Kaya ang sabi sa kanya ng Diyos, wala ka na maituturo. Kaya sabi sa kanya ng Diyos, I will put enmity between you and the woman. She will crush your head and you will strike at his heel. And then, the unity with all of creation. Sa ating pagkakasala, ang sinisira natin, maging ang kalikasan. Lahat ng mga nararanasan natin sa ating kalikasan, it is a product of our irresponsibility. When man becomes irresponsible, we also destroy the gift of creation. So that is what sin does. It destroys our fourfold relationships. Now, some false intel about the enemy. Kasi sabi natin kanina, no, may PhD yung demonyo sa deception, no, and seduction. False intel number 1, the devil does not exist. That will be the first thing that the devil wants you to believe, that he does not exist. Why? It is often the devil's interest to make himself unknown. Do you recognize this picture? Who among you saw the movie The Right? The Right. Wala pa? Walang nanood sa inyo ng The Right? See it after this conference, no? The man over there is the exorcist, no? Played by Anthony Hopkins. Ano yung sinabi niya dun sa kanyang seminarian na kasama? Sabi niya, the quotation is here. Sabi niya, the robber does not light the house in order to rob. He works in darkness and in disguise. That is also the way of the devil. He wants you to believe that he is just fantasy, that he does not exist, so that our guard will be down. Okay? That is false intel number 1, no? The devil's advocate, no? I saw that movie, no? Tingnan nyo naman ang picture of the devil, Al Pacino. Sino mag-aakalang he is the devil in that movie? Naka-Armani suit, no? Naka-gel ang buhok, no? At swabing-swabe ang dating. That is the ways of the devil. He will not appear to you looking so grotesque. When the devil appears to you, he or she will appear like a beautiful man and woman. Tingnan nyo nga yung katabi nyo ngayon. Ha? Maganda ba? Maganda ba? Okay, ingat kayo, ha? Okay, ingat kayo. Baka camouflage yan, no? Okay? False intel about the enemy. The serpent, the devil is represented by a serpent for a reason. Why is the devil represented as a serpent in the Bible? Number 1, because the serpent is good in camouflaging. Di ba yung mga ahas? Sometimes they can blend in their environment, no? Makikita mo, sometimes they look like the grass, or they look like the trees, they look like the rocks. So that, pag naglalakad ka, hindi mo sila mapapansin. They are very good in camouflaging themselves. And then also, in deception. No? The serpent can make you believe that maamong-maamo siya. No? And then all of a sudden, at your most vulnerable moment, he will attack you. He is good at camouflage and deception. No? Father Benedict Heron, no? In his book, I Saw Satan Fall, no? He is an exorcist. Sabi niya, he or Satan is normally happier not to be recognized, but to work in a hidden and secret way. Because that way, there will be less danger of stirring up opposition if he is not recognized. Now, what is the deception of the serpent? Number 1, the demons are only active during the time of the Lord. Yan yung unang papaniwalain niya sa atin. Ay, wala nang demonyo ngayon. Yan ay kwento lang na mababasa mo sa banal na kasulatan. No? Devils only existed during that time, no longer now. You know, in the seminary, every night, we pray this prayer in 1 Peter verse 5, chapter 8. What does it say? Sabi niya, stay sober and alert, for your opponent, the devil, is prowling like a roaring lion, looking for someone to devour. Resist him, solid in your faith. Every night, we pray that prayer in the seminary before we go to sleep. Why? Because the devil does not only work during that time. Every time we are idle, that is the time that the devil wants to work on you. And when are we most idle? When we are about to fall asleep. Di ba ganyan yung ating experience, no? Pag tayo ay humiga na doon sa ating mga kama, dyan na umiikot yung ating mga isip. Now, we have this principle, no? Idleness is the work of the devil. And that is why I would recommend to you, fellow soldiers of Christ, pray this prayer, no? 1 Peter verse 5, verse 8, chapter 5, verse 8. Stay sober and alert, for your opponent, the devil, is prowling like a roaring lion. One of the church fathers, Saint Athanasius, says, demons occupying springs or rivers or trees or stones cheated men by their deceptive appearance. An example of a deceptive appearance. Tingnan nyo naman, napakagwapo ng vampira. No? Kilala nyo ba yan? Sino mag-aakala sa inyong vampira yan? No? Si John Lloyd. No? And then of course, ito pa. Okay, no? Si Bella, no? Ano pangalan ng love interest ni Bella? Si Edward, no? Who would think that that is a vampire? No? Pero you know, that is how the media is beginning to desensitize us with the evil. It presents the evil one as attractive, guwapo. Bakit? Kasi kung ganyan ba naman kagwapo ang vampira, abay lahat tayo mangangarap na maging vampira. I'm not kidding, no? I was talking to one high school student one time. Sabi niya, Father, paglaki ko, ang gusto ko maging boyfriend ko, vampire. Katulad daw ni Edward. The devil is slowly desensitizing us, making us at home with the occult. Bakit? No? Sino sa inyo nakapagbasa ng libro ni Father Joseph Sikia? Yung about the exorcist. Father Joseph Sikia is my classmate in the seminary. No? He's my classmate in the seminary. And I asked him, itong sabi ni Father Joseph, possessions usually happen to people who are curious and have become at home with the occult and with the devil. How do we become at home with the occult? Ayan, no? Kapag ang laging nakikita nating images, ay, ang gagwapo naman pala ng mga vampire, no? Hindi naman pala nakakatakot ang devil. So we become at home. Now, when you become at home, now the devil has an entry point. Sabi ni Father Joseph, the official exorcist of the Archdiocese of Manila, that is how possessions usually happen. Okay? Sabi niya, when you become at home, that's the time that you begin to look for the devil, di ba? Kaya ka naglalaro ng spirit of the glass, and so on and so forth. Now, the second deception of the serpent, sabi niya, that problems are only purely physical or psychological, and they have no spiritual or moral origin. No? He will make you believe that all your problems in life had no spiritual origin. No? And that is only physical. Na wala kang kailangan gawin sa iyong kalooban para magbago ka. One concrete example, in the area of sexuality. In the area of sexuality. Kanina lang, nanonood ako ng television doon sa aking kwarto. And I saw a commercial of trust condoms. Okay? And then, in that commercial, ano yung sabi ni Robin Padilla? Sabi niya, ang tunay na lalaki, hindi nagpapasa ng sakit. So, what is he communicating to all of us? That sickness or STDs or HIV is a natural byproduct of sex. Kaya sabi niya, kailangan safe sex. At yan yung ginagawa ng demonyo. He makes us believe that all these STDs are natural byproducts of sex. But we know through scriptures that sex, the way God created it to be, is naturally good. Saan ba galing ang mga STD? At yung HIV? Through our irresponsible behavior. The devil does not want us to address our irresponsible behavior. Ang sasabihin niya, hindi. Ang sex, may natural na kasama yang sexually transmitted disease. Kaya kailangan safe sex. Pero ano yung tunay na solusyon? The problem is not with sex. The problem is with our heart. If you want to eradicate sexually transmitted infection, address first the desires of your heart. My dear friends, if you are single and if you are abstinent, you will never get STD. If you are married and if you are faithful, you will also never get STD. Pero anong sinasabi ng ating kultura? Magpa-vaccine kayo. No, nakikita niyo yung commercial, yung vaccine against cervical cancer. Sasabihin ni Chris Aquino, 8 out of 10 women die of cervical cancer because of HPV. Anong hindi sinasabi ng commercial? How do you get HPV? You do not get HPV by simply walking down the street. You get HPV through irresponsible sexual behavior. Pero anong sinasabi ng commercial? Magpabakuna ka. The real problem is the desires of our hearts. At yan yung gusto ng demonyo na paniwalaan natin. The problem is outside, not inside. It is not spiritual. It has no moral origin. The deception of the devil. Okay? And then, sin, let me just skip that one. Second false intel about the devil. No, the devil is equal to God. He is omnipresent, omniscient, and omnipotent. No? Number one, sabi ng Catechism, the devil is not omnipresent. No? Marami lang sila. That is why in the gospel it says, what is your name? Sabi niya, I am Legion. Why Legion? Because we are many. They are not omnipresent, marami lang sila. Okay? Because they are also creatures. They are also not omniscient. My dear friends, I talked to my exorcist friend, Father Josie. Sabi niya, the mind of the human person is off limit to the devil. Okay? He has no power over our minds unless we give it to him. And how do we give it to him? By engaging in the occult. Ayan, no? Kapag nagsimula kayong spirit of the glass, no? Yung mga Ouija board, no? And then all these things, ayan, no? You're giving the devil an avenue to enter your mind. Okay? He is not omniscient. And then lastly, he is not omnipotent. Why? Because he is also a creature. We have power over the devil. If you see the movie The Rite, no? The man or the priest can expel the demon by using and invoking the name of Christ. My dear friends, that power is not only for the priest. Every Christian who is a child of God has power over the devil. And by the name of Christ, you have power over the devil. Do not believe that he is more powerful than you. Okay? You are more powerful than the devil through the name of Christ. Now, the enemy's traps, deceit. Ano yung deceit? No? Panliling lang. No? Let me skip the slide. No? I want to go to the next slide. No? Ano yung deceit na yon? No? Pinapasabi sa atin that all opinions are equal. For example, no, we have here a weighing scale. Sinasabi dyan, abortion is good, abortion is bad. Equal lang yan eh. Kanya-kanya pananiwala lang yan. If you believe that abortion is good, good for you. If you believe that abortion is bad, yan ang paniniwala mo. Wala namang katotohanan eh. All opinions are equal. That is the first, one of the consequences of the deceit of the devil. And then what else? No, it will tell us that the deceit trap of the devil is there is no absolute truth. No? I don't know, maybe you have friends who will say this. No, all opinions are equal. There is no truth. If there is truth, you cannot know it. If you can know it, you can never be sure. Do you have friends who speak this way? Sabihin nila, there is no truth. Pag sinabi nila yun, sagutin nyo, is that true? And then sasabihin nila, if there is truth, you cannot know it. Sabihin nyo, how do you know? And then sabihin nila, well, if you can know it, you can never be sure. Are you sure? Diba, ganyan, that is the deception of the devil. The deceit of the devil. Eh, ang problema sa atin, we accept this deceit, moral relativism, that the truth is what I feel or what I think, especially in the area of sexuality. You know, one time, I was watching at the Mall of Asia. Who has been at the Mall of Asia in Makati? In Pasay. Okay? There is a big cinema there, 3D. One time, nanood ako ng Spider-Man in 3D. 3D, no? Nung nanood ako ng Spider-Man, ganun pala ang 3D, no? Ang feeling mo talaga, si Spider-Man, lumilipad papunta sa'yo, no? Talaga naman yung mga tao, sigawan ng sigawan, ilagan ng ilagan, na ganyan, no? One time, tinanggal ko yung aking salamin, no? Tinignan ko yung mga tao, mukhang tanga talaga lahat. Mukhang tanga. No, takbuhan ng takbuhan, sigawan ng sigawan, but there's nothing there. It's just a screen. Pero tanungin mo sila, ano sasabihin nila? You know, Father, I really felt that the stone was falling over me. I really felt it, and I really saw it. But guess what? Truth is not only what you feel. Truth is not only what you see. Truth is something objective. Truth is something outside of you. Now, in the area of sexuality, laging nangyayari yan. I feel that I am a woman trapped inside a man's body. I feel that I am a man trapped inside a woman's body. There was 2 years ago, there was a story of this sabi doon, man becomes pregnant. Have you heard that story? the man who became pregnant, lumabas pa sa Oprah show. And in the Oprah show, nagkaroon pa ng, anong tawag doon, yung ginaganon sa tiyan? Ultrasound. Buntis nga yung lalaki. Ang pangalan niya si Thomas Beatty. Pero when you listen to his story, he is actually Tracy Lagundino. He is a Filipina who grew up in the States. But he felt that he was a man. He really felt that he was a man. So anong ginawa niya? He had her breast surgically removed. And then, she started injecting herself with hormone, testosterone. Kaya nagmukhang lalaki. Tinubuan ng balbas, bumaba ang boses, medyo lumaki ang katawan, no? Because she started injecting herself with testosterone. And then, meron siyang kapartner, no? Isang babae na ang feeling naman ay lalaki siya. No? Ay, hindi. Isang lalaki at ang feeling niya ay babae siya. Kita mo, nalilito na ako, no? Okay, isang lalaki na ang feeling siya, babae siya. And then, gusto nilang magkaanak. So, what did they do? Sabi ni Tracy, ako na lang ang manganganak. How did that happen? Nagpunta siya sa sperm bank, and then she got herself artificially inseminated. Now, what is that story telling us? No matter how Tracy felt, no, that she is a man, deep inside her, she is still the woman God created her to be. Kasi yung kalooban niya, meron pa rin siyang ovaries. At kaya nabuntis siya. Even if she felt that she was a woman, and even if she looks like a man, she is still deep inside the woman God created her to be. Truth is not only a matter of what we feel. Truth is not only a matter of what we think. Truth is something objective. In this part of our program, I would call a friend of mine who had a struggle with the truth of who he is. This is a fallen soldier, but a soldier who was victorious against this battle. No? My dear friends, I would like to call on stage, no, our very good friend, no, Muriel Pigao. Pakinggan natin ang kanyang story.